So the word for today is rigidity. Came up, not my plan to talk about rigidity, but I will tell you it's a source of suffering for many people. Holding on to patterns, holding on to identity, holding on to this is how it is, thinking you found it. Any rigidity has a problem in a world that is so in flux, so incomprehensible on so many levels, so much in flow. So when you resist that with rigidity, you end up as an obstacle in life. You end up as a confrontational space, and that causes suffering. The ongoing experience of my spiritual journey has been nope, that's not it. Let go. Rudy's idea is surrender, because finding it is a rigid position. Having it is a rigid position. Thinking that finally I got there is ridiculously rigid because it never stops moving, it never stops changing, and you are one with that transformational space. You are never the same as you were. And if you think you are and you hold on to what you were, you're living in a past tense. You're not living in the amazing, truly remarkable reality of the now. There's nothing rigid about the now. There is something remarkably new about every moment. And when you think you have it and you know it and you lock into it, it's not new anymore. It's already past tense and it doesn't serve you. Of course, what does that mean? Who are the you that's being served? Who is the you? Plural, singular. That's a discovery that comes out of this journey of spiritual awakening. The you that you come upon as you do this journey is not rigid. Well, let me put it this way. A lot of the times it is, but it only gets you in trouble because you're not in step with the remarkable unfolding of the present tense. And the present tense is not rigid. Anyone who sat long enough, quietly enough, deeply enough, realizes it's a motion and emotional space that does not stop and lock in and freeze. Even in its quietude, even in its stillness, it has a kind of gentility of present tense awareness and motion that makes you feel that you are one with something remarkable, which is not just a feeling, it's a truth. You start to feel that this ever changing, moving quality of life, which sometimes moves like this and sometimes moves like that. Sometimes it's cataclysmic, but it doesn't matter. You are one with that profound motion, emotion, vitality of being, which is not rigid. So if you are looking to secure your comfort and your life so that you can't be hurt, you can't be damaged, you can't die, you can't suffer, good luck. You know not to come here because that's not the teaching. And if you think your spiritual life is a doorway to that kind of certainty and security and rigidity, you're making a big mistake. I would suggest looking elsewhere because I think there are people and there are religions and there are teachings that move toward a rigid perspective. You have to get to this and hold it with for dear life. And, you know, I think there's a teaching in that. I think there's great lessons to be learned in rigidity. So I'm not trying to tell you that it doesn't have purpose. I'm just telling you you don't need it. It's not fun, and it is not the course reality of yourself. Your core self is vibrant, alive, in motion, moving toward unbelievable levels of attunement to something that is inexpressibly powerful, beautiful, joyful, terrifying, lovely, unknowable. And I give you all that, and I know that doesn't help those of you who are trying to rigidly grab it and go, well, that's what it is, because you can't. You can't do it. And if you want to do it, find a person who gives it to you or a teaching that gives it to you like that. This teaching, this Rudy-esque teaching, this Nityananda teaching is something else. And every time you try to put it into words, there's a part of the mind that goes, oh God, I got it. I got it. I figured it out. No, no, no. It's going to be the opposite of that. The opposite. It's not knowable. And I tell you that week by week, and I will share with you to the point of boredom and dissolution. It cannot be grasped. It cannot be known. It cannot be a safe haven for something that will last as it is in the same way as it has been. Not like that. It will not be that. It is this indescribable reality that we're looking at. I mean, if you're looking in any direction, show me rigidity. I mean, things look sometimes like they're in place, like your house or the floor or the driveway or whatever you think is like perfect. Well, I mean, if you're around long enough, it's all got to be repaired, fixed. It's going to blow down. It's going to be repaired. It's going to be taken apart. Whatever it's going to be, it has no. Its rigidity is temporary. You put it that way. It's nice to have a rigid structure around you like a house because its rigidity gives you a certain security and knowing. And that's why you hold on to your things as well. Your rigidity is trying to be like a house, trying to be like a form that's certain and secure and forever. But anyone who watches the news where they love to show you houses blowing down and tornadoes and things like that because human beings are fascinated by that. Um, it's to remind you your house will not be an absolute certainty. Your body is absolutely not a certainty. Your mind will not be a certainty. Holding it in a fixed position will be preparing it for the tornado to come, or the hurricane, or the fire, or the dissolution on whatever level, just wearing down, accepting fluidity, accepting motion, accepting change, accepting the unknowable as a gift and not a fearsome thing is absolutely core to the unfolding of a human psyche and into an awakening into the unknowable truth that is not conceivable and therefore liberating. When you can't conceive of what you, quote, know, when it is known but not verbal, when it's known but not expressible, when you touch the known, you find out that it cannot be grasped. The known is what it is, and not trying to grasp it, not trying to be rigid and holding on to it is liberation. It opens you up to the unspeakable in a way, even though you meet people like me who try to speak it. The speaking of it is to lean into it can't be spoken, it can't be known. So, to personalize it for a moment, Blanche and I celebrated our 56th wedding anniversary yesterday, June 21st, kind of longest day of the year, many times. Um, it was huh, to try to conceive of being with somebody for 56 years, and in fact, 58 years, is amazing. And it goes through so many dynamics. And you may even hit moments of rigidity, but you don't stay into a marriage for 56 years if you're rigid. And what I'm experiencing now, and I'm sharing it because I wish it on every human being, married or not married, but the the true unknowability of a long marriage comes toward the end. And as I've described multiple times in these weekly talks, Blanche's memory is going quickly. Mine is going, but not as quickly. And we sit at the table. We went out to dinner at a restaurant that we've been to a million times, and Blanche can't remember it exactly as having been there, but we've been there a lot. And it's completely new to her, and it's completely familiar to me. And the joy of the new and the familiar merge in a way that is indescribable. And, I can go, oh my God, Blanche is forgetting everything. The thing she is not forgetting is us. And even that's temporary, but it is so overwhelmingly big at 56 years. You have no idea what it means. Maybe some of you are there, but to be with another human being for that much time and to discover the thing that has been emerging. I may have been talking about this for weeks because I'm forgetting, and forgive me if I've already said it, but what it means to love somebody that long in such a massive way is to find this oceanic thing happening that has nothing to do with me or my effort to get there. It just is there. And it rears its head, if you will, and it just goes love, love, love. And this love is the absence of rigidity. It is just love. And it's so in motion. It's so vibrant. It contains such a massive space and way beyond even the relationship. But it filters into the relationship, of course, and we celebrate. We just celebrate the fact that we have been together and supported each other and made unbelievable, heroic choices to be together and to move forward in a life that has had so much possibility for restriction and rigidity and not done it. I could not have ever done it by myself. Blanche has been the key person with the courage to do all of these things, all of which you've heard of in my stories, including saying yes to marrying me on the very first date. This was 56, well, more than 56 years ago. We were met 58 years ago. Date number one, I told her everything there was in the world about me that would be giving her reasons to go, oh my God, get out of here. And I said, I was told by higher forces to find someone to love, and you're the person who walked in the door. Would you like to spend the rest of your life with me? And she said, yes. 50, that was 58 years ago. I mean, I, who does that? Who does that? When we were told by my friend, Brian De Palma, that if I wanted a career in Hollywood, I'd have to move there. We're living in DeKalb, Illinois, in absolute, terrifyingly rigid comfort and knowability. and and Blanche was teaching. I had no job yet, and uh, we flew back to DeKalb, Illinois after hearing from Brian. And you know this story, but Blanche went to the head of her department at the university and quit her job. Said, I'm leaving. And she said to me, we're moving to Hollywood. And she put our house on the market. I'm my this is a celebration of non-rigidity. Don't hold on to the familiar and the comfortable because it obstructs and it limits. Blanche allowed for a flow into a life that has given us all of these things that we have then discovered that we you can't hold on to. We have had these lovely homes, really, really lovely, one after another, and spectacular places. And yesterday, Blanche and I were talking about the house in California. She could not remember having ever lived there. This is a sign, of course, of memory loss that's pretty dramatic. But we have a book that our realtor gave us when we were leaving, and I showed it to her, and she looked at the house as though for the first time. And I said, honey, you designed every room in this house, every part of this house. No memory, but she loved the book. She loved the rooms. She thought, oh my God, that's really beautiful. That's really nice. And so she came upon it almost for the first time. And a part of me is frightened of that. And a part of me sees it as rediscovery, renewal, and part of this unfolding of the human experience. Trust me, live long enough, it gets weirder and weirder, but it does not get less beautiful and it does not get more rigid. It gets freer. And so we celebrated 56 years yesterday with such joy and such openness. And then I came home and Blanche had to do the bills. I don't know why she had to do the bills at, at 9, 10 o'clock at night, but I don't argue with that. It makes her happy. I went downstairs and turned on the TV and discovered that the president of the United States had launched an attack on the country of Iran. And I went, this is very strange. Now I'm going to quickly try to do this because I know it's not a story that interests everybody. But, I have been asked to write a movie about uh, a prediction that the world would end in a war with Israel and Iran. And this prediction was made 40 some years ago by a woman named Denise Jacobs, who was told by a voice out there in God knows where that she should find the writer of the movie Ghost to write a movie about all this. And that I would somehow be responsible for saving the world. Now, I've talked about this enough that you've all heard about it, but it amped up yesterday on our anniversary. It amped up to this could be the seed form of something pretty disturbing, obviously. It's absolutely the lack of rigidity in a movement into potential destruction and loss of everything that we all love suddenly heightened. I have no idea how to talk about this movie that I'm supposed to be writing, especially now with all these circumstances happening. I don't know where all that goes, and I suppose you can all imagine the complication of what do I write? This thing has started. I don't know where it's going. It's not pretty, but what it does, and I didn't think it would be like this. It comes up with the story that I mentioned again a few months ago or weeks ago. This this sort of script I wrote when I was 15, based on a Ray Bradbury story, The Last Night of the World. And the opening line is, "What would you do if you thought this was the last night of the world?" Well, that is kind of what I came to yesterday. Even before the bombing, I just felt this could be the last night of the world. And Blanche and I talked about it in exactly those words. What would we do? And we decided we would go home. She would pay the bills. I would go downstairs and watch television. Hopefully, she would join me. But of course, Blanche paying bills at 10 o'clock at night is not a recipe for getting together on any level. But it was so familiar. It was so familiar and so absurdly beautiful And I just felt if this is the last night of the world, do I want to call anybody? Not really. What am I going to say? If this is the last night of the world, would I change anything? No. And it has to do with the unbelievable gratitude and beauty that I have experienced in life that have led me to a moment that says thank you. Beyond belief, thank you. All day long, all night long, thank you. This gratitude is exceptional. And I have felt that if this is, we are moving toward the end, we may be moving toward the end, I am going to embrace the what is more than I ever have. I am going to love every, if you look at my trees, they're just all the, the winds are blowing the green leaves. It's so beautiful. And I am embracing that. I'm embracing my fish. I'm embracing the birds. I'm embracing Blanche. I speak to my children, but we're not going to gather. We're just going to live our lives and be what we are, no matter what occurs. All I can tell you, all of you, is that this level of thank you and acceptance and giving yourself over to the what is includes everything that might come, everything. Blanche and I watched a movie. She doesn't pay bills all the time at night. We were downstairs and we watched a television show, and I was on the dinosaurs and a lot of special effects, and there were millions of dinosaurs, and they were on this face of this earth for like what 70 to 100 million years. We haven't been. I don't know. We haven't been anywhere near that. They had a long reign here, and then it ended not happily. But they had a long reign. We are a spark. We are a spark moment. We're a moment of reality. I don't know the how or the why of it, but I know we are unbelievably lucky. And if you enter the flow of this lifetime and you stop being rigid and holding on to what it should be and would be and might be, and oh, not that, not this, just be in it. Just be in it, whatever it is at any given moment, no matter how much it changes, how much you forget of it, how much isn't what you want it to be. Let it go. Let go of rigidity and discover what it means to be vibrantly, vibrantly alive, even if it's for the last second in the universe. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This very moment is miraculous and extraordinary, and you have it, and you are lucky. Don't try to hold on to it because it's not going to be there in a second. It's going to be gone. It's going to go to the next one. Boom, 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 boom. It is infinite. And I suspect even after the last moment of life on Earth, and we'll find out, but I really think that it continues. It continues. And I will use my last line of the movie Ghost as the final line of this talk. The love inside, you take it with you. Amen. There you go, guys. That's this moment. Who knows what the next one has in store? I am amazed that you keep showing up. God knows you get the same talk over and over, but it has relevance, it has meaning, it has a core value because we get lost regularly along the way. We just get lost, and you need every so often. And this teaching and Rudy and Nityananda and all those amazing souls who have sort of found all this is that, you know, we're lucky to be here. We're just lucky to have it. So, if anybody has any concerns, comments, criticisms, questions,
Bruce,
Wendy, I see
Bruce,
Wendy. Let me go with Wendy because I'm seeing her. Yes.
Hi, Bruce. First of all, thank you. That was beautiful. Couple of things that it really sparked for me, because I'm not sure what the movie you're writing is exactly going to be. You don't know either, I think it sounds like just yet. But I know there's a sense of so much rigidity with, oh, I should do this or I should do that, or what should I do, or what do I need to do? And there's a lot of that. I see that in my own life. I see that in other people's life. So just what you're speaking about, like, not having to necessarily do anything, but just connecting to that genuine gratitude of the beauty, that and save someone, like they play off each other in a very interesting way, and just a beautiful message that really spoke to me and kind of, I think for me, like helps let go of that rigidity. You wouldn't necessarily call everybody you love or get them in a huddle really quick and, put your hands in the team and say, yeah, it's like really understanding all that is not necessary, but there's an element of being able to still somehow save someone. I don't know where you're going with it, but I'm loving that and I
Well,
appreciate that.
I will tell you, you and I have spoken quite a bit about this. I that whole universe of the movie, which is definitely interesting to me, but I have also found that I could walk away, and that I don't have to hold on to anything at this point. It's a remarkable new moment for me. I have never felt less locked into anything than I do right now, and I have no idea where it goes tonight, tomorrow, 10 minutes from now. I have no idea at all. So that's been very powerful, especially even just since you left. We talked about this a lot, and Zach and I talked about it. I'm not locked in to anything whatsoever. How it changes and where it goes, I don't know, but I feel, if you will, liberated. All I have to do right now is be alive and be. This idea of save someone, which I love. How do you save the world? You save one soul. That idea is wonderful. Do you need a movie to tell you that? I'm not sure. All I know is that saying it once and then doing it once, if you can do it once, you know, save someone, love someone, care for someone. I don't even know how you save them exactly, but love does seem to be a big factor in that. Go
Mhm.
for it and see what happens. But trying to save the world, I mean, I cannot tell you what an absurd situation that is for me, and I don't know how it will unfold. And there's dialogues going on, but I can only tell you that I don't have any more capacity to save the world than anybody else.
Mm,
We are all in this together, and every one of us who helps anyone is doing exactly that.
mm. Thank you for that. And the one thing that sparks that I love is that this line I heard a long time ago, you can't say yes unless you could genuinely say no. Um,
Good luck.
so
Good
thank
luck.
you, Bruce.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Bruce,
Yes, I'm hearing somebody.
Dale,
Oh, okay. Hi, I don't see you, but go for it.
I'm
I'll,
here. I
I'll
see
switch
you.
screens. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I've
Hi.
been thank you for speaking about rigidity. It's hits the nail on the head for me. I've been reading a book this week called Stupid Things I Won't Do When I Get Old. And it's funny, and yet it has a truth that really hit me because I've been saying to my children, I want to stay in this house until I die. And one of the things he brings up is that saying, I want to die in place, it sounds fine for me, but it can be very worrisome for one's children. My children worry about my driving now that I'm in my 90s. And I just say, oh, it's ridiculous because I can still, you know, think pretty clearly and I know what I'm doing, but they're worried about it. And I thought, yeah, I'm just thinking about how I am now. But how will I be maybe in 5 or 10 years? I don't know. And so to say, you know, hard and fast, I want to stay in my house, uh, is something, maybe that won't be the case.
Well, Blanche and I are guilty of exactly that same thing. We're putting it in writing. We want to stay in our house. We built an elevator in the house so we could stay in the
Mm-hmm.
house, but I absolutely know we could end up somewhere else. You know, there's no locking it in expressing a wish. A wish is fine,
Yes.
but finality is something else. The life
Mm-hmm.
is going to change around all of us. I don't think anybody understands, Dale, except now as we're getting older, how uncertain and fragile in a way it all is. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's a kind of a joke, you know. it changes so dramatically. But what I am learning and what I'm trying to express to these talks that I'm giving through them is that if you've learned how to greet the moment, if you've learned how to greet the truth of what is arising, you will have a much better flow of your even later life than you would if you don't.
Mhm.
Because when you're rigid, and especially at late in life, it causes drama and tension beyond belief for everybody involved. I've seen it myself, and I am learning so profoundly about kindness, which I talk about all the time, toward others, mostly toward my wife, because that's who I live with all the time. But it's not hard. It's just not hard. It's better than going, honey, you told me that 20 times. That is the most unpleasant statement to make to somebody. But if you answer it as though you heard it for the first time, which in a way it is the case, the way it works, you know, let this moment be the first time. It changes everything. These are lessons I would not have known in my 40s or 50s. I needed to be at this point in life and watching the dynamics of the transformation that are taking place right in front of me, not just with my wife, with my body, with my own mind. I mean, I am seeing the changes happening. I cannot project them with any clarity. So I'm going, okay,
Mhm.
this moment is fine,
Yeah.
period. And I think you and I have talked about that, and we've learned that we're doing fine in this moment. It's great.
And every moment is a teacher.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
have never experienced that more than I have now. This idea of chop wood, carry water is one of the most powerful things I've ever come upon. I never understood it before. Rudy's idea, if it's in front of you, it's yours, which is still part of chop wood, carry water. The simplicity of doing the thing that needs to get done now, picking that thing up off the floor. I talk about that a lot. One, it makes me bend, which is good for me. Two, I pick up the dirt and I throw it away. And throwing it away feels right. And it's like, well, that wasn't in the plan. It wasn't, I didn't want that, but there it was. The simplicity of going okay to that rather than why me, God,
Mhm.
which is so many people do. It's not it's not a recipe for happiness or joy or anything. So I just go follow the teaching. If it's in front of you, it's yours. Chop the wood, carry the water, move down the.
What was in front of me yesterday morning, uh, sitting in my meditation, I couldn't believe it. There's a line that I think to myself, who can I send love to without lifting a finger?
Hmm.
Do you know who appeared in my thoughts, in my mind? Trump, Netanyahu, and Khomeini, the three of them. And I'm sitting there thinking, huh? I don't love you. I don't send love to you. And then I realized who was saying that.
I
It wasn't the Christ I was trying to sit as. It was Dale.
I mean, I have had that exact experience, and I have tried myself to send love to those guys. Not Khomeini yet, but certainly Trump and Putin and Netanyahu, and I have discovered how unavailable they are to that,
Yeah.
because I can usually find the crack or the mechanism that will allow me some entry points. Trump has some which are, but they're like almost childhood spaces. But it's beautiful that you would find that directive, because I'm telling you that is part of the equation.
It quite blew me away.
Yes, well, it would blow you away, and it blew me away, and I know, and I've done this, and I keep sending energy out to dark forces and to the world itself, trying to just do it, and it seems absurd. What are you doing? I know what I'm doing. I'm following orders.
Yeah.
I'm just sending love into this world because something tells me to do it. And I'm amazed that there is a voice like that that speaks to me. And I know it speaks to everyone.
Yeah.
But there are not many people who listen or follow the orders or the directives. All I'm trying to say is get in touch with that space and do what it says. It is amazing. Pick up the phone when it says to call somebody and call them. You'll be amazed at how much they were expecting that call or needing it. We are in a place where following the core loving elements of our life that tell us what to do is the smartest thing we can do, especially in times that might get as dark as our current time is appearing to become. Love, 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 flow, and don't be rigid.
Thank you.
Have we exhausted this, guys? It looks like it. Okay, I love you. I love you all. Thank you for showing up. Um, Trust me, the love you got today, all of you, every one of you, was profound and deep and beautiful and deserved. So take it in. Know that the universe embraces you to use your opportunity here and your skill set and your openness and your love to embrace the universe. Have a great, great afternoon. Happy Sunday.